Hey, what's up? It's Silly Girl Carmen. Welcome back to Wonderful Radio. For episode 26, we have Cachet bringing us a soulful vibe with the Chicago and Detroit style in her mix. But before we get into the mix, check out this Q&A and enjoy this episode of Wonderful Radio. What's up, everyone? It's Silly Girl Carmen, and I'm sitting here with Cachet. We're going to go through a quick Q&A, and then you guys can enjoy her awesome mix. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's lovely out here.
Nice. Give us a quick intro to where are you right now?
So I'm LA based right now. Initially from Chicago, born and raised. But I moved out here about 4 years ago to pursue more of the music, get in with more creatives. So it's been a blessing out here.
Nice. Yeah, definitely a good spot to be. And yeah, you're not, as we were kind of briefly speaking about, not missing the winter season. It's a blessing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That's one of the major, there's so many other reasons why I moved out here, but that's definitely one of them.
Yes. So let's go back to the start for you. How long have you been a DJ, and what inspired you to get started with that?
I've been a DJ for about 9 years now.
Okay.
And I've been producing for about 2 or 3 years, consistently. I started way back, but what got me into it was I initially was a pianist, and music has always been a part of my life just because I was more of an introvert as a kid. So the way to express myself, I found music being something that does that for me pretty easily. Music has just been all around me throughout the years growing up, and I've just become more and more intimate with it. It's almost becoming part of me, an extension of me. So it's been a great journey.
That's awesome. So I know you are from Chicago, but you're now based in Los Angeles. How would you describe or speak on the inspiration that you've gotten from the Chicago music scene or the culture there? What is that influence, or how would you speak on it?
Totally. Chicago, number one, is, I feel so blessed being from there just because it's like hard love, it's like boot camp coming through there.
Right.
You really get an experience of honing in on your skills. They don't take mediocre, so you really have to show up, and so that really showed me how to really perfect my skills and hone in on that. So just the technical side of it was amazing to be a part of that experience, but the music side of it, you have jazz and blues and house, all of that being in the roots of Chicago, hip hop. I used to run an art collective, the Infusion Project, so we infused a bunch of different creative mediums like art, music, and all that. So I got to know a whole variety of people, and a lot of it, at the root of it, there's music, because everyone can relate to that. It's a universal language. But it's really been the roots of where I get my music from. I really started exploring deeper and deeper to where the music comes from. And then you start to really get into, the old eras of music and where it all started. So it's a part of you, when you grow up in Chicago, it's like, that's your heart and soul.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is the same with Detroit. I hear it in the music as well. Being the sister city of Chicago, it's like we get each other.
Yeah.
but it's amazing. I mean, to be able to be from a city like that, because you really start to understand music and the expression of it and where it comes from.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny because I used to go to Chicago a lot because we were so close when I was younger. And I remember me and my dad taking road trips up there, and I swear there was like some of the most amazing house music. We'd be listening to like these late night radio stations. And at that time we didn't have Shazam. There's still songs where I'm like, dang, like that music was so good. Like there's, you know, there was a style, the Chicago house style, where it was like, there's like songs I wish I had. This was like years ago, you know, but
right?
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, yeah, the culture and the taste in the music, the style, the soul of Detroit and Chicago, it's definitely there. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I was reading your bio and I wanted to know, can you tell us more about green screen sessions? What is that exactly?
So I started that about four and a half years ago, before we even, you know, got into this pandemic and virtual streaming and all of that. I just, you know, was able to experience a little of the technology and the initial part of it all, and created green screen sessions out of it. And at first it was really just something for me to practice. You know, I had my own podcast on this platform called Sonic Box, and I was streaming for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I really honed in a lot of my skills and mixing styles. I learned a lot of different mixing styles throughout that process. And then I took it home with me, and it then became something that, you know, I think we're so critical of ourselves when we step in front of the decks. You know, we want it to be perfect. You know, we have these expectations. So for me, it became more of something that, you know, I could sit in front of the decks and just kind of have at it and see what happens, you know, and let it naturally flow. And I'll just let it, you know, record the whole time, and, you know, you get those sweet moments. So I usually just release those moments in time, along with obviously full-on mixes on different platforms. But yeah.
Okay.
It's been cool. I've gotten a lot of responses with it. It's, you know, I've reached a lot of people all across the world because of it. So different platforms have been airing it. We've been collaborating throughout the years, so it's been a cool tool.
Nice, very cool. Would that be why you're in front of a green, like, was it literally a green screen thing? Was that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, now that I'm seeing you here, I'm like, oh, okay, this is connecting for me visually.
Yeah, this is my green screen, my home green screen. Yeah, I kind of incorporate, it's funny because green has been holistically a color in my life. You know, I garden, I do nature, you know, green was just my favorite color, and now it's kind of like all around me, so it's
nice.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, I like this actually. This is a good background. Nice pop of color. I'm for it. Which we are gonna talk. My next question for you is: I know you are a gardening girl. I've been seeing all your Facebook posts, which makes me so excited because I'm the same way. Love it. How long have you been gardening, and is that a part of your everyday lifestyle? What more can you tell us, or would you like to share about the gardening life?
Yeah, totally. So I first moved to North Hollywood about two and a half years ago. And, you know, I always wanted a community garden, just to kind of explore that for a bit, because I really started being conscious of what I put into my body. That goes with music, things, you know, that we listen to, all of that. and down to my foods. So I wanted to be really conscious of what foods I put into my body and have them be as natural as possible, you know, to ground me as best as I can. So that really got me exploring. Same with music. You know, it's really funny. My gardening life and my music life correlate so well.
Nice.
Whatever I'm doing with my garden, I'm learning that in my music and of course in my everyday life too. But yeah, I started exploring the roots of where even the foods I put into my body come from. And I wasn't too happy with what I found, so I started to grow my own food and start that journey about 2 years ago. When I found a community garden out here with one of my neighbors. So it was such a blessing, you know, the universe kind of guided me there. And before I know it, you know, it was definitely trial and error. It's still trial and error. You'd never perfect it because there's always something.
Right.
But I dove right into it head first, like I always do, and I kind of sort of found out how things work. And you know, after so much years of experience, you really start to get a better understanding. So yeah, I've been growing my own food and supplementing it with other foods that I get, you know, that I shop with. And I'm actually, it's cool because it's kind of the word's getting out. So more and more people are gardening as well. I know you are. There's other people that are relating to that, especially in the pandemic. You know, you kind of want to like do something so you're not just sitting there. But yeah, it's cool, and you know, people have been reaching out, and I just got offered more land, so I'm hoping to expand and see where it takes me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that. That sounds exciting.
Thank you.
So what's something that what are you growing right now, food-wise? What kind of stuff you got in there, or trying, or about to grow?
We're in the new season now, so I'm actually working on doing what is it called? Basically where you don't have any breaks in between, so you just constantly are growing. So I'm working on that, and as I learn that, you know, we're starting a new season, so I'm flipping it, and I have tomatoes, lots of leafy greens, peas, beans, a lot of, what else, broccoli, starting some beets, and
nice.
yeah, there's so much. And I'm actually working on building more medicinal herbs too into my garden. That's been a huge thing for me, especially when you're out in LA. You could like forage it in the wild, which is really dope. So I've been learning about foraging as well, just to like supplement what I got. And even down to the weeds, you know, weeds are edible, which is crazy, and they have amazing nutritional value if you know how to like really cook them and stuff like that. So it's been dope.
Very cool. I'm gonna end up wanting to do a whole different session with you about the gardening thing. I love it.
Oh my God, yeah. I have so much knowledge, and I'm still learning, but yeah. It's amazing.
That's awesome. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up with one more question for you. In spite of this last year being hard for most people, what is one upside or breakthrough that you've had, or something that's really changed in your career or progressed in your career?
That's a loaded question.
Okay.
Nothing really like affected me too much, unless I was feeling a little unbalanced. You know, I started reacting to certain media and things like that, but for the most part, I stayed pretty grounded. What helped me during all of this is it slowed me down. a lot of the times, and I can't stress this enough, like when you're pursuing your career, we just have like what's that vision? Straight vision. Yeah, yeah. So you're just like head deep into it, and you're just moving in this direction. You're moving. Right. Sometimes, you have to pause and take a step back and be like, reassess, I've had to do that quite a few times in my career. And this allowed me to do that. And now it's expanding the way I want to do music. So incorporating more of my musicianship in my DJing, since I do play piano, and I'm a multi-instrumentalist.
Nice.
So that got me to really figure out how I want to do that with my live performance. And I was able to connect. What was really cool is I was actually going to go on my first international tour before this happened, and it bummed me out for a second, but then it was cool is, with all these virtual platforms, I was still able to do most of the gigs that I had lined up. Right. And because of the accessibility with it all, I was able to add more countries and cities to my list that I probably wouldn't have been able to travel to. So it was really cool. Like I expanded my network of people and interactions and connections. So I built more relationships in this time frame just from taking a step back than I had in, a couple years prior. So
yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for sharing that perspective. That's definitely. I'm always curious because I feel like with it obviously being a hard year for so many reasons and everybody's situation being different, I feel like there's those upsides, and like you said, I can agree with the slowing down part. Like you had that time to like look at everything, assess it, reevaluate. So not all bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad we got to catch up on here, and I know everybody's going to enjoy your music. I look forward to connecting with you again in the future and hearing more from your production as well.
Word. Yeah, we definitely will stay connected for sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.